All right, in 3, 2. Welcome to the 2024 Super Retriever Series Crown Championship, presented by Eukanuba. After countless hours of training, trials, tribulations, successes, and failures, only the best of the best make it here. Who's going to be this year's Crown Champion? We have a week to find out. 5 series, and now all these dogs are competing with one thing in mind: winning the Crown Championship.
Well, I've got sandbags on, so I got to get people to help me. You just tell us what you want. That's amazing. Why you're going to open it and build tonight.
Have you seen any dog? Well, that's what, like the National Derby Championship talks about street.
When I had it like this over both of them.
Well, just get
Yeah, that's
you can throw both of them.
yeah.
Go along, you know, that deal. That way, and then put the holding blind behind the yeah, and then retire so you don't see it and come around.
Shannon, you good? Where they're at?
Yes, he knows here.
I wonder what they're looking at.
That side's not a big deal. It's this side that they got to negotiate.
Dan, we good? Jimmy. Jimmy.
I'll get the truck. You do that?
I'm not.
Go, you truck people. You're out here.
See where the blind is? You know what the blind is?
Because of our
Miller! Stay back there for me.
Oh, hit
the brakes, Mark.
That's like yelling at us, so I'll just chill.
All right, we're gonna do the armband,
We'll mess it up. I'm from
The other grace back up. Good lesson.
Here we go. Gonna come out once the dog's coming back. Bring the dog up to this last hold line. You get all you up, get some out of the hold line on lead, in front of it, take your lead off. You will proceed through this gap to this mat. And then you put your dog around this mat, this is a walk up, this right hand bird. Got that throw going right to left and all the way down to the home line. Yeah, first for the camera. Yeah.
It's a mallet.
Yep, hold on. Yeah. All right. So when the dog in front of you is coming back
With the last bird.
with his last bird, you'll come up to this holding line right here behind me.
Hey, last time some of y'all were hanging back, we want you up in this holding blind ready to go. I don't want to have to call you up. Pay attention.
All right, when we say we're ready, you're going to come around in front of the hide, take your lead off. Get yourself settled. You're going to take off walking. You're going to come through here and proceed to the mat. When you or the dog gets to the mat, whichever one gets there first, this bird's coming out. Don't go past the mat. Make sense? Once that bird's on the ground, you're going to get a shot and a throw from out there at the tree, throwing right to left. We're going to go off of those two birds. We're going to run a blind starting on the mat.
Blind planter, walk out and stand
Where
at
he's
the
going to walk
ribbon.
out. Y'all pay close attention.
to where this blind is.
Yeah, y'all come on up now.
Or you.
I'm gonna let them stand there for a while, yeah? Blind planter come out.
There's a big
He's coming over to it.
Okay, he's not out.
No, he's not out.
Standing right behind the ribbon. Everybody see that? It's in front of the branch. He's standing right behind the ribbon. The branch is going down like this. It's at the base of the branch. He's behind it. Like if the branch goes between me and her, the bird's right in front of where her is.
Can you have him pick it up and drop it for him?
Hey, pick your bird up and lay him back down. Hey, you just stand right there.
Once you kick your dog off, you can move up by these people. Don't go past these. Don't go past these two respectively.
We'll get you up out of the ditch.
Get you up out of what happened? We can go that way.
I'm gonna tell you to come back. If you do it again, you're going to see.
Right? So we can go left and right.
Yeah, you go left and right. We just don't want you. We're getting you up out of the ditch and just giving you a parameter.
And same thing if you had was to hopefully you don't have to handle all these marks. Same thing. You can come up here and do your
Mallard, flasher. All right, guys. Hey, let's watch the test dog and then we'll ask questions. Let's everybody scoot that way. Hey, I want y'all to be real still when they're running this blind, okay? Y'all get out of the way and let her run the blind. All right, you can go back, blind planter. There's a bird there. You go back, sit down. Guns up. Guns up.
He's a committee guy.
Y'all give her room to come through here.
All right, you come off lead out front out here.
Are we carrying a gun?
No.
Doesn't sit like you be.
Sit.
Hey.
Hey guys, what you got?
Sit.
All right, here we go. Dog to the line. Bird one.
Sit.
Bird two.
Sit again.
Sit.
I've never seen one bird.
Don't listen.
Heel. Sit.
Every sin from the mat.
Sit. Back.
Where the hell did you go? Step up, Grace. Step up.
Yeah, step up. There you go.
Give me left hand.
And you can walk up a little more. They can't, then you can. We've got all these people trying to help her.
Yeah. Left hand.
Yeah, just hold that hat in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Listen. Step.
Mark.
Right straight up.
I thought that was great education.
Whistle.
Fourth and goal, and you got to punch it in from there.
Right up. Whistle. Whistle.
I always see when
Or two move back.
especially when they really don't want to go where you tell them to go.
Here.
Step up, Al. Step if you want more.
Whistle.
Here. Here.
He's mad. Now.
You have good ears, too.
Mark.
Step. Beep. Beep. Beep.
Yeah, Ron? I think he was deep of it. I saw him go over.
I was watching that.
She should have waited.
It's on this side.
Whistle.
He missed it there.
Now come in.
No, it's this side of the road.
Right there.
Is it in between two branches or anything? That's my question. Just nothing on either side.
Bare dirt, like 4 foot down where they dug that hole.
But you saw you had to be enough for you to bury yourself in.
Is there dirt on top of it too? Or?
Doesn't matter what.
Get this one. He never saw those things like that. So yeah, so definitely get the short one first anyway. Get him lined up, let him settle, let him
Chugged her in on them suckers right now. After that,
Hey, your dad could never got him there.
last year.
That's true.
Here. Here. Heel. Heel.
He's hot, so don't let him run around the line. Whistle.
Our winds died. Nothing's true.
Wind's gone.
He's probably going to lay still what storm coming down.
Whistle. Call him in. Whistle. Whistle. Going here.
Here. Here. Here.
Tell us.
Get him to help. Whistle. Bring him all the way in.
Here. Here.
Matt, he's giving help this point or whatever.
You bring him in?
Whatever you want to do. Well, I'd either get him to help him from there or whatever they want to do. Or just give him
Hey,
the.
walk out to your bird. Bird one. Walk
bring
out
him
to
in
your
more.
bird.
Hurry.
Hurry.
Call him in.
Now, hey.
I'll
No,
stop.
keep going.
Stop.
Yell, hey, real loud.
I asked him.
Keep yelling, hey. Wave your arms and yell, hey. Keep going, loud. Keep going. Pick that bird up.
You ain't gonna know.
Next time you see the dog, look at you. Hey.
Call him in. In. Tweet.
Let him go. Keep hey. Hey. Keep going. Loud. Come on. I want you to act a fool out there. Like, hey.
Stop him, Alexander.
Jump up and down.
There you go now.
Now throw it up in there.
Throw it to him. Yeah. Whistle. Just hold him here. Yeah, I know. You can do whatever you want.
He took that literal.
Throw it to him. Get that thing set up. Yeah, get that set up. See what he looks like. No shot sending him for that other bird. No. He didn't see it.
We got a. Y'all want to bring a dog and just run the marks, or
Walk out with.
are you good? You want them to walk out where they're landing? Y'all good?
Walk
Hey,
out
everybody,
with
walk
them
out
in.
to where your birds are going to land and stand, please. Bird 2, you pick yours up.
Been a fan for a long time.
Pro looking.
19. They're progressive for 5 years.
Matt, can we see a dog pick up the birds? I can't, because kennels. Matt, can we see a dog pick up the birds? Can we see a dog pick up the birds?
You got one?
I didn't heard it, but I see one.
Yes, sir.
I asked just a second ago and they said walk out. So I said,
Hey, they want to see somebody pick
I asked if we wanted to run
Like the fish
somebody else can run.
Yeah, it's good. Really good set.
All right, I'm going to let them stand out until that dog gets up here. You know, look at them now. After this dog runs, they're not walking back out and standing again. So get your looks now. You're welcome.
Any special
Sins
penalty?
from the mat.
Matt, any special penalty?
No, sir. Other than picking up a mark out of order. And it is real special. Other than picking a mark up out of order. Like if you're running the blind and pick a mark up, that's a very, very special.
What is it?
Very special. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying he's got to announce it, otherwise they're going to...
Hey guys,
Shut up.
this is a hunt test. Black tan camo. No white hat. It can be white on the inside. No white hat. Yes. Pick a mark up before you get the blind. You are done. Thank you.
Is Kayla here today?
No.
Did she go back?
Yeah, I sent her home yesterday.
Hey, something else.
Before it
Real
got too
quick.
late.
Eukanuba is feeding us tonight. We would love for y'all to stay and support them the way they support us.
I really liked talking to her yesterday.
Here, yeah, it's going to be here. We're still going to be running.
Yeah, when it got to be about 2 and I saw it, I was training, I said, look, just go.
Leo.
Because if not, best case scenario, we're going to run at about 6, and then you got to drive home, and I got to go 10. I said,
And I make, oh man, I tell you what,
Sin, for every sin out there on the
wow,
mat,
I'm
it's
so amazed.
it's definitely,
Part of the dog
we got
on the
good
mat.
help, and it's team.
A big yes.
If we make it to the mat and the gun is not gone off, we don't go back.
Don't go forward.
We just stay.
Just stay.
I'm ready for
If
Sam
it gets
get
to a
home
point where
full time.
we need to call a no bird, we'll call a no bird to start off.
Calling it home more often.
Yes.
Do not come past the mat. Correct.
Get all this.
What's up, Lobo?
There's pink ribs, a lot of it, actually. It's just very hard to see.
Hey, here.
I didn't know Lobo would go on
Here.
that.
Hey, here.
Lobo would go on that.
All right,
Hey,
mark the
back
Red Sea over here. Let's go. Hey, come on. Come on, Jason.
Jason, back up.
We're burning daylight.
Tell them to go back, man.
Y'all go back. We're going to do another test, y'all. Make sure you got that.
No, here. Here. Yeah.
What you wanted and all again. Mark 3.
All right, we ready back here? All right, here we go. Guns up, guns up. Stay back for just a second because I'm going to dog to the line.
You gonna make Ray burn that night? Yeah.
That's his cue to start.
Set. Heel.
Third one.
Set.
Of course, I don't know, after your SRS, you and Jim were right up there with us.
Set.
Put that tail down. Put your tail down.
Hank. No.
He's showing you the mark. We're running the mark.
We're just trying to confuse you, brother.
We've seen that. From what I've seen, they want to go right there.
Get over there, Hank.
You see that? I could get them the other day.
Oh, and when he gets back near the tree catcher, go ahead. There's no, probably not enough test here. Calling to you.
Here.
Not enough dust here.
Keep calling.
Here.
He understands heel,
right.
not hill.
Now, cast
He's not
that
bilingual.
Same thing.
It's gonna be tough when you're killing him.
Here. Here.
By the time you got there, it was.
What's that 30-yard mark over here?
Get a little bronze butt of a mule or something like this.
Get better that on that day.
I'm just saying the score.
The judges don't so. Well, again, it was the whole. I tried that. First whistle catcher. When he got out there.
Good job, bud.
All right, hey, any questions? Good. Good luck to you guys.
You want us to take off lead in front of the
Line them up.
Nope. I think that's what he said. Walk right here and take off there. Good luck, yo. I don't get it.
Gallery.
I ain't got it there on the here.
Matt, did you
Yeah, bully your way up there.
Nope.
Nope.
Hey, hey, guy, listen to me. The gallery is either going to be in the Eukanuba tent over here or over there from the trucks that way. I don't want people lined up back here. Shannon doesn't for the cameras. All right?
Not care about it. What color are you wearing?
Stayed up drinking too much. Big hat and bow ties tonight, so I can't see in there.
Angry Kevin.
Dirty Kevin's got me.
Yeah, dirty Kevin.
They got
I'm
me.
fine tonight.
All right. I'll do it tonight. I was in bed at 8 o'clock last night.
Bend over right there, son.
Nope.
I ain't bending over. Halfway up there.
Well, if they do that,
I get that. Try to get your boat.
what did that?
What happened? He's more like
Huh?
I'll be happy. I'll be happy.
I'll be happy to help. You tell me what I can do to help, and I'll be happy. As long as y'all shut up.
As long as you don't ask for nothing, I'll help you. As long as you didn't bother me like doing anything. Oh.
We're ready. You waiting on me, you stand your time.
You know what you signed up for here, didn't you? This crew's a different breed.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do this right. I'll do that, Bobby. We'll bring this up.
Second series, at the team approaching the line, 2 marks come out. Go right, hour, right to left, 69 yards.
If you feel that you can run with the best, well, we've got the challenge for you. Something that will take you out of the familiar, out of your comfort zone. But you will get a chance to show that you are worthy. For each dog and handler team, a series of 3 tests: hunt saddle, field trial, and a hunt test. Each one a challenge by itself. But to excel in all 3, you'll have to bring all of the endurance you can summon, all the desire that's inside of you. You'll need the enthusiasm of youth and the wisdom of age. If you can put it all together, you'll be the winner. The Super Retriever Series Crown Championship is presented by Eukanuba. Sporting dogs give us everything we ask and then some. Their nutrition should do the same. By Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, we are focused on you. Louisiana Tourism, feed your soul. And by Lucky Duck Kennels.
Let the bass go.
He's rubbed off on me. That's where we've gone with this. Okay. Now we start all over the sheets, right? Yeah, I just opened the one and then started right on. Gentlemen, can I get you guys anything? Water.
Crown and dye? What's your dye?
Save your bottle and I can refill it.
Oh, they threw it out on me. Hey, there's Crown in my cooler up there. I'll take a dirty Kevin.
Bring you back, man. Probably.
Yeah, it brings you back.
Straight out. Straight out. Yeah. I wouldn't have had one yesterday, but I had one today. I'm back.
Hey, Marty. Sir. Can you help them with the number? Do you have the running order?
I have a running order. I can't see the number for it.
If I tell you who the dog is,
I'd recognize it.
yeah, just so they have something to reference if we need to go back.
Yes, I will.
First one's Michael Demmer, I do know that.
First one who?
Michael Demmer.
Well, hello and welcome back, everybody. We're getting ready to rock and roll on our second series. This is a hunt test setup. You walk out of the holding blind, you come to the mat, they do a walk up on a bird on the right. They shoot and throw a bird on the right, throw it out in the field. And there's a, what am I going to say, 45-degree angle. And they throw another of that, and you run a blind up between the two. That's really tricky, a really tough, tight ending. Well, and you've heard me talk, and if you've followed me at all, you heard me talk about red zone. Well, this has got definitely red zone about it. The ending is tight quarter, tough to be on the downwind side, a little difficult to tell the depth, and so handlers are going to have to be on their game on this land blind. And then you're going to come back and you're going to pick up both marks. So it's, and then come back and pick up the two marks. Test dog was, so we're about getting ready. We don't have our first dog in the holding blind yet. All the handlers were up there online and they got real quiet when they saw the end of that blind. So everybody's well, they're doing what you do right before the kickoff. They're getting excited, they're a little anxious, and we're going to get to watch some more dog work. Now, I wouldn't say this is, well, this is a big shift from our first series, obviously, especially with our little short bird on the right. But it's going to require discipline, not unlike the first series, especially on that blind. The dogs are going to have to stay with the handlers. Handlers are going to be challenged judging the depth a little bit. The blind planter comes from the left, and I counted about 10 paces from the holding blind of the blind planter to the blind set. Gives you about a 10-yard deal, so you just gives you an idea. That's going to be one of the things. If you get deep or on the wrong side, you could end up visiting the blind planter, which is not what you want to do. So our first dog, Mr. Mike Demmer, is coming into the holding blind. The instructions are, when they tell you you're ready, you come out of the holding blind, stand in front of the holding blind. They call you to line. whether the dog or the handler hits the mat first, as soon as they do, the right-hand bird's going to go off. Shoot and throw. So it's a walk up on the right-hand bird, the shorter bird. It's, I don't know, 70 yards maybe? Then they swing over to the left one. I'm going to guess that mark is 100 yards, 105, you know, right around there.
I wouldn't make a good sniper. I can't give you yards.
And then the blind in the middle it's the longest retrieve, I would say. I would say 150-ish, but we'll get a real accurate read here. That's just me guessing. It gives you perspective, so you'll get to see it here in just a second. So I'll remind you how this works. The dog with the most penalty points, the highest score. The idea here is to have the lowest score, the least amount, which was dog with 3 points, which was amazing. And the dog with the highest score runs first. So it's almost like you get a bye.
Can you hear me on the radio?
You get a bye. So they're trying to make sure the communication is clean with their throwers. And it is 4:09. There is a threat of some thunderstorms coming in. We're watching the radar, so obviously there's a chance that that's going to interfere. I'm guessing, I'll start to time this, but they probably have about 10 hours worth of test here. So obviously they won't finish it today, and hopefully they'll finish it tomorrow. They more thunderstorms. Okay, our first dog is coming out of the blind. You see he comes up on lead, takes the lead off, and we're going to put the lead in their pocket. He's going to walk, and you'll see the mat here in just a second. Bang. Okay. Right-hand bird goes. Left-hand bird goes.
A little bit of a low throw.
Right-hand bird and the blind are the darker birds, the mallard. Now, I think they called a no bird here. My guess is the left-hand bird was a real low throw. So our number one dog went back into the holding blind. Looks like he's going to come right back out. What I'm not sure is I'd be wearing repeat the process. Walks up the line. This is our youngest dog, I think, in the competition, is what I heard earlier. Okay, the right-hand bird went.
Bird 2.
Okay, we've got a little better throw on our left bird. I'm assuming they're going to go with it. Now the handler's going to know off of that. Pull and run the blind. Now I'm going to move over to have a little different perspective on this blind. The perfect line is to the left of the two white decoys and right of the three. The white decoys are snow goose decoys, and the ones on the left are speckled belly goose decoys. It's his first whistle. This ending can be really tricky. They've allowed the handlers to move forward and to give them lateral movement options. Dogs seem to respond pretty quickly to that cast. Tell you what, I get the feeling this is longer. This is longer than 100. I would guess this blind is 150 plus. Okay. And that's the tricky part. He brought him back out of that cover.
Ooh.
I tell you what, this is a real blind now. This, at any level, this is going to be tricky.
Good cast into the wind.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now he's... You see how that dog kind of disappeared? All right, he got it. Oh, it's hard to see him pick that bind up, but... Okay. Got messy on the first go, but he executed the ending on the second go pretty darn nicely. So if a yellow dog was that hard to see at the end, how's a black dog going to be?
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for the competitors.
Is it safe to say most people are going to pick up the short bird first? I would think. I don't know. They won't designate that. I mean, the only thing you have to do is pick up the blind first. Well, that's what he's doing. So he's under the arc of these. There's a little upwind to this bird, but and he might be a little deep. No, a good mark there. Okay. You know, Mike is kind of stepping back to see what side of this mat he wants to be on. It's a pretty good view of, you saw there for a second, of there's only one tree out in the field there to the left, and the holding blind is concealed by the left-hand branches, and they throw a pretty flat throw, pretty much a 90-degree throw to the left. You probably don't want to send too loud on this after that previous deal when we went 375. You don't want to you could overrun this one and keep going if you weren't careful. Okay, well there's your holding blind where the bird comes out of.
Uh-oh, is that a pop? Looks like a pop.
Yeah, I see it already stopped. I did not hear a whistle, but he...
Looks like he took off on his own, but...
Ooh, yeah, but he's going the wrong way.
Yeah.
He's going deep. He's quite a ways right. It feels like he's about halfway between the left-hand gunner and where the landline was.
Here he comes.
He's over near the bird now, but he's still a little deep. Interesting. Okay, well, he's something to the right.
This is about where he was when he... Yeah, there we go.
Well, handler's going to have to mark this bird as well. Okay, there it is.
You got it. Kind of seemed like he found the gun, came around and got nervous. Like
he did. You're right. He got on. He was between the bird and the gun, which is typically a pretty good spot. But this is our youngest dog. You know, he doesn't have the miles and experience that maybe some of these other guys have. So. And you know, the dogs that are running early here are the dogs that struggled. So maybe some of those dogs just aren't on the top of their game this week. So we'll see. But This is not going to be hard to have to screw up.
No, this will be quite easy to make a fool out of
They
yourself.
dropped that. Okay.
I'd be interested to see how many dogs go on the right. They do run under the arc on the longbird, go on the right side of the tree and just establish a hunt and never come out of it. Kind of similar to the short bird in the first series.
But on the short bird, they wanted to hunt left, and the wind for the most part is quartering from right to left over my right shoulder. It's almost, well, I would think that left-hand bird is almost downwind.
Yes.
Dead downwind.
Yes.
So that really doesn't have, so the wind's probably not going to have a big factor as far as pushing the dog, but.
Right. The only reason I'm thinking that is because all the action is over here.
Yeah,
They've already run the short bird and the blind. It just seems to me they're going to want to hang out on the right side of that tree.
Right.
Instead of getting away from it on the left side and that wide open. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see a pattern develop. It always does. All right, I'm gonna get a couple times on dogs now. We're at 4:19.
Guns up, guns up. Come on out.
This looks like David O'Neill with Mia.
Comes off, okay.
Dog to the line.
This is a really nice dog. She comes and trains with us. He comes and trains with us occasionally, and she's a really cool dog.
Certainly animated and looks fired up.
Yes. You won't have to beg her to go.
Oh, this is missing in action, huh? All right, now he's going to pull off. Got a good initial line, right? In the sweet spot there. It acts like a crosswind to me, like a right to left crosswind, even though it's not a ton, but it just feels like it's going to be hard to get you let them get very far left, it's going to be hard to get this right-handed cast.
Right. And the more you try to play it safe off of that poison bird, the more you're going to be casting in the wind.
Yeah. But he got that cast nice, pretty nice. Let's see, the dog's starting to. This is where it's going to get dicey.
I can just see her head.
She's short.
Yeah.
She's in front of the trees. I think she just got it right there. Okay. These guys are starting to darken up out there a little bit. Picked up a couple cast refusals on the left, but really, once you got over the trees, that was a reasonable finish.
Yeah. Seemed like once you got past the poison bird, a good.
Okay, so he's going to go for the left-hand bird. Okay.
Seemed like she was willing to take that cast into the wind.
Right. I'm not sure every dog's going to take that cast.
So he went long first.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe he thought it was a little fresher in her mind, and he's definitely a little left of the bird at this point. I can see the dog in the field and on the screen, but bending in towards it. That could be, is that our bird? Nice.
Yeah, take that. But boy, when you go long twice, it sure makes it hard.
I know.
Come back short.
This dog's got a lot of momentum. It'll be interesting to see. Probably my best view is right on the camera, isn't it?
She's a pretty talented marker, so let's see what she does.
He just wants to keep her relaxed and loose. You know, that's a bird.
Yeah.
You don't want to sweat him too much on.
No,
You just want to say, go hunt him up. Which she looks
not a bad place. Oh, she just ran over the ribbon.
Well,
Is she coming back to it, I think? Yeah. Okay. So a little shaky blind, but two
he
really
didn't
good
handle,
marks.
did he?
No,
I have a hard
so.
time hearing that whistle. So, but he was getting ready to.
Yeah.
And she came back. Well,
That's the blind for you. That's it.
well, that took right as of this point. They might be a little bit better on time than I thought.
Thank you, sir.
I'm at 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Remember, I'm on a time from the time that the dog comes out and sits. As soon as the lead comes off, I'm going to hit the stopwatch. You do a 3-dog average, you can usually start to figure out the pattern. That's a great view there.
All right, guns up, guns up. 45. No, 45. Come on up. Good luck.
Sit. Sit.
Good go.
Sit.
Dog to the line.
Right at about 5 minutes on that dog. I don't know. I mean, you could be a little faster, but not much.
No,
I think that's
yeah.
almost the best case scenario. 'Cause that dog had no hunt on the left one, small hunt on the right one, and was pretty fast.
So let's see what Rio's got in store. A little left.
Yeah, I got an early whistle.
You can only assume if they miss that slot in between those decoys that they're going to get penalized for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you get nicked for initial line. Well, he's right dead on line right now. Yeah, I think that was a smart whistle there. He didn't let him drift downwind too much. I think it's smart to kind of keep these dogs on a short leash here. Now, I'll tell you, we've got cloud cover, and it helps the visibility. That shaded shadow area when it was bright sun was really tough. I think it's a little friendly. I can actually see the orange marker now. Good whistle.
It's not a bad spot to be.
No, it's not a bad spot to be. And I
Let's
think
see
you've
if-
got a pretty good perspective. Now, he's slightly upwind of this deal.
Let's see if your theory holds true, Pat.
Oh, that's where it's hard to judge the depth right there.
Oh, she's going downwind even more. Looks like we got some
Got some wind
big
picking
wind
up
picking
and
up.
maybe some rain coming in here. That's where you go. Almost impossible to tell if that dog was. I gotta believe that dog was this side of the blind.
It had
Sort
to
of.
have been.
Oop. Yeah, we got some wind and rain coming in here. We're gonna have to duck for cover here a little bit. My guess is they might shut this down. This could be a thunderstorm coming in. Well, rain came in a little earlier than they anticipated. Hopefully they got these tents staked down because they could go. I have not heard any lightning, or thunder, I should say. Seen any lightning.
So did she run deep? I can't see her. I can't tell. She was coming back
Guy
home,
got
I
a
guess.
bad break here. The weather just kind of, the skies opened up. Ryan, I'm dodging for cover. What happened there?
It looked like I lost sight of her, and then next thing I knew, she was coming back home. So he had to put a whistle on her and get her back out there.
I think I've got my monitor out of the rain here.
There, she got it now.
Best I can. It's just me or you?
Some tough conditions to run under.
Oh, that's just one of those bad breaks. The sky just opened up right when.
And that's the thing, if you're going to
We've got
win
a
one of
severe
these,
thunderstorm warning.
you're going to have to
Popped
get
up.
some good luck on your side.
We're going to have to make a decision here. Well, I guess that the severe thunderstorm warning must be this one up north, so we'll see. Well, that's what we got right there.
Slant the blind, please.
I don't. The severe thunderstorm warning. For
Come on out.
so that dog was about 7 minutes.
Hold the line.
Pretty good initial line. Gotta take a bathroom break real quick.
Well, you trying to tell us what he thinks of the vine?
I guess so. Looking back at the handler.
He said,
Can't quite call that a pop.
no.
So Pat, you said you started with Chesapeake's.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure there's some stories there.
Oh yeah, I had 4 of them in senior in high school, and I actually had one, you know, a first dog had 10 Derby points, won a qualifying, had some challenges, and then I kind of realized that if I was going to play this game, I probably had to do it professionally to be able to do it as much as I wanted. So when I ended up going to California and then ended up working for Mike, then I didn't have any dogs. So I would ask you, trivia-wise, I ask everybody this, especially my Chessie people. I said, Lottie, that won 3 nationals, broke an all-time Derby record. Well, let's watch this dog finish this blind before I tell the story, because now he's off and running. Now the wind has laid down a little bit, the rain has lightened up.
I tell you what, though, the finish of this blind, you don't want a real speed demon.
Exactly. This is where, you know, your sharp, tight sits that you work so hard on in basics to really pay off.
Oh yeah.
Because you get a loopy sitting dog, especially a loopy left dog here, that this is where you can get very frustrated with a dog that doesn't sit really sharp.
In the game now, this day and age, if you don't have a good sharp sit, I mean, it really is the kiss of death. Looks like you got it. Nope.
Incredibly difficult depth perception, but after watching it, I think this is deeper than most people think.
Yes.
And I think that previous dog cut in front of it. This is going to get you the blind, right? There.
Now I got it.
I spent a lot of time studying the return. Like, you know, before there was when the sun was bright, you could almost count, you would want to count the paces from when the dog picked up the blind to when he came out of. That would give you an idea of the depth.
Right. It's kind of like a water blind that they go out of sight on.
Right.
You count the seconds, how long
many
they're
seconds.
outside,
You know, sometimes you learn more on the return than you do on the way out.
Yeah. The test dog return, you want to, if you're up in the order early, you want to count.
Exactly. Yeah. Looks like we dodged. That rain kind of slid by us here a little bit. Still drizzling, but the wind has subsided. And that was my luck to say the rain subsided because it just started raining harder.
Yeah.
But it's
kind of like when you take your rain jacket off, that's when it's going to rain. So you were telling me about Lottie.
Okay, there you go. So Lottie Candlewood tanks a lot. I think points, but something like it. She had beaten a previous record that was almost like the Babe Ruth home run. What was the name of the dog that she beat, and what breed?
Couldn't tell you.
It was a Chesapeake Bay Retriever female, and her name was Meg's Patty O'Rourke.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly how many points, but Rex had talked about her, and and he talked about what a wonderful dog she was. I don't necessarily think he trained her, but he knew of her. But it's a Chesapeake Bay Retriever bitch, and held the all-time Derby record for a long time. You know, 20 plus years, I think.
You could probably win some money at a bar if you would put that to trivia.
Well, I tell you what, when I'll do workshops and the Chessie people come up and I said, come on, you got to know Chessie trivia, you got them.
Right.
I do. And I'll tell you what, I've seen some good ones. And Linda Harger from Idaho, She is, I think she's made more field champion Chesapeakes than anybody, and she's got a nice one now named McQueen. And I've watched her go about 8 series in the National Amateur, and I've worked with them, and wonderful dog. Looks like a great temperament, talented, and he's a field champion, amateur field champion. They don't give those away.
No, he's worth feeding if he's got those in front of his name.
And I think he's if I'm not mistaken, he's a bench champion, so he's a dual champion.
Dual champion, yeah.
Which you really don't see many of those.
No. So I'm sure you learned many lessons training Chessies that you still applied going forward.
You know, I mean, you get some, when you get some different temperamented dogs, you've got to think outside the box on how to deal with things and motivate behavior. But I had a really good Chesapeake when I was professionally training who was really one of the most talented dogs. His name was CC's Diamond Dex. He made a field champion. He had 40-some Derby points. And he was one of the most spectacular natural markers I had. Fast, small dog, 50 pounds. And that was in the day when we did a lot of field trials on public lands. And in Michigan, lots of stump ponds and logs, and he was fabulous at that. He could, very athletic, climb over logs, and he just, he had his only kind of, had a little bit of a noise issue because he could get excited and make noise. But won an open before he was 4. I mean, a real open too. So and won an amateur. I don't know if he ever got his amateur field championship because the dog ended up being sold, and Linda Harger ended up training him for the tail end of his career. But he was. If you asked me to name the top 10 raw natural markers I've ever trained, he's one of them.
He's in there, huh?
Okay, well, he's going to get that bird. I think he's going to get that bird. Not an easy bird to mark for the handler or the dog. It's just kind of out there in the field, and there's not a lot of.
Yeah, I'm interested. I wish I would have watched from the mat what that throw looked like, because from here, when it clears that tree line, you can't see it up against that kind of grayish, bluish background.
So now that I watched him pick it up, that mark is a little shorter than you might think. Would be my perception. All right, we made it through the little squall. Did your seat get wet there, buddy?
Yeah, that's all right. We're moving around anyway.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid to sit in this guy. It looks like this is what the.
Yeah, that's kind of like Mexican tap water. But I don't know if I trust that.
I know. I think I'm just gonna stand up. So this dog's gonna be more like 10 minutes. Now he's not sure that's gonna be indicative of the average, but we got a 5:04, 7:05, and a 10 plus.
Come on out.
Here we go.
Guns up, guns up.
All right, we got our next dog coming up.
Here we go, dog to the line. Bird 1. Bird 2.
Handler's rehealing his dog, getting him ready to do this blind. the footing in here is a little bit, some of these dogs don't like it. They're little stobs. It's been bush hogged. It's got some cockleburs in it.
He looks like he's a distinguished gentleman, a little gray around the goozle.
Gary. Yes, he is. Uh-oh. He acts like he wants that mark.
Yeah.
He's going to be downwind of it here in a second. He's going to have to be pretty careful. Well, I think he got by it. He wasn't very far from it.
No. He could have got western there for a second. Well, he's still peeking at it, but he took the cast.
All right, well now he's in the middle part of this blind and making nice momentum in the right direction. He started to pull a little bit right here. He's getting good directional changes, but here's where it gets interesting. Just entered the shadow. Got a nice cast there. And I think it took him to the bird. You don't relax until you see the dog coming back, like right there you say, oh,
yeah, you better keep a lung full of air till you see a bird in their mouth.
Yeah, the last thing you're going to do is, especially if the judges turn and say, well, pretty good job, you better not turn around.
No.
It'd be real easy to miss that bird and be in that, hanging around that blind planter if you weren't careful.
So when you coach amateurs, Pat, how big of an issue is that? Is timing on the whistle is?
Well, it's incredibly big, you know, and it's a skill that's developed. You know, that handlers will go through. The challenge what most handlers go through is they overhandle in the middle part of the blind when they should be gaining momentum, and they underhandle when they should be being real aggressive. And this would be a good example. So that's the heart. So you just, when you enter what I nickname the red zone, which is a football term near the goal line,
right,
when you have to change the nature of how you handle. You're trying to control all that momentum that you developed up to that point. Your stops have to be sharper. Your timing has to be better as a handler. I think the timing of the whistle, most of the time, is more important than the cast. You just got to do it a lot. You got to watch people that are good at it. Some of these handlers that are really skilled. I'm sure we're going to see, and they're going to make mistakes just like all of us.
Yeah. I've always said if you want to learn how to handle, you can watch good handlers, but you're probably never going to be like Lardy or Judy Haycock. But if you sit down in that judge's chair and you watch enough bad handling, and you just reverse engineer that.
Right. Here's what I don't want to do.
Here's what I don't want to look like.
Yeah.
Then at least you can be competent.
True. Good point. Good point.
And if you sit in the judge's chair, you will see enough bad handling.
And I'll tell you what happens with good handlers. They make mistakes, but they don't dwell on the mistake. It's what you do after the mistake. Like, I was a little slow on a whistle, or I should have given a different cast. They're quick to recover. And it's easy to get frustrated and say, darn it, and start worrying about what you wish you'd have done different, and then make two more mistakes.
You start compounding mistake after
like
mistake.
I said, it's not the first mistake that kills you.
Right.
It's the second and third that kind of starts the unraveling. So. And it's easy to say, not hard to do.
I'd rather give up a solo home run than a grand slam.
And you know what? I think running, difficult ending multiple blinds on a regular basis to hone your skills is the only way you get better at it. You know, and I say difficult endings because it's easy to put 10 bumpers out there when you have, but you go out there and plant single, one at a time, and you make those endings a little tough, you will get better.
A lot of people ask me, how do I go from hunt test to field trials? I want to start running qualifyings. What do I need to do? And the best answer I can give you is go run 10 of them, and you'll figure out real quick what you need to do.
Right.
So she had a pretty good blind, or he had a pretty good blind and a good short bird. I want to see. I'd like to see him pick this up clean and see what his score is.
Here I can see both the monitor and the.
Not a bad line.
No. I've got a little better perspective seeing it of the dog itself. It's going to be just left under the arc of that bird. There's your holding blind where the bird comes from. Good view here. You can kind of see how that dog is swinging around. Getting pretty close to the bird there. It might be a little bit deep of the bird actually, now that I've watched it picked up a few times. But definitely smells the gunner in the holding blind and knows there's a bird in there. Coming back, just saw it there.
There we go.
And she said, I'm glad to see you. Okay.
So that old man was savvy enough to stay on the under the arc and work it out.
You're not talking about the handler, are you?
That was all handler.
I know.
That was all handler.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, that dog's at about 7 minutes and 30 some seconds, so.
Probably about a 6.5, 7 minute average.
Thank you.
Yes. We had a 5:04. I'm going to start a brand new round of them. Sometimes when the rhythm gets going, the mechanics speed up a little bit, so.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Dog to the line. Good luck, Ron. Here. Here.
John Lamar from Statesboro, Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, he's pretty much dead on line right there. Looks. Well, it's not a bad place to be. You're parallel in the line, but you're slightly angling away from it. You probably need to tuck him over there. It's my instinct that left is definitely more dangerous than right here, certainly in this part.
I would agree.
Because of the visibility where the blind planter is and all.
The wind has died down, but earlier the wind, that would have been
I still feel it. You know, you can't let them dive in there. What are you going to do here? Well, we got to stop. You can see him. Hopefully the dog can see the handler. Oh, he moved, but did he go? He went the wrong way.
He's in the trees now.
Incredibly difficult to tell. I mean, you know he's close. Is that it right there? Yep. A little bit of hiccup there at the ending. Lost sight of him for a minute. could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, he's got that good measured pace.
Yes, you're right. That's gonna, because when they're flying around in those tight little corridors, it's gonna be tough. There's a great view of that.
You start white knuckling around those trees, and
well, and you get better at doing blinds like that, and then going through the trouble that putting one down at a time, and you know, you refrain from using those big visible markers that the dog can see at the end that ends up making it where you don't have to put them on the blind. No, you maybe not do, you may, for some dogs at certain stages, you don't do that day in and day out, but you got to do enough of it that you get better at it. And
so one thing Ray Vogt, when he came and did a workshop with us, he told us we need to start single planning blinds more, and it's made a big difference.
Yeah, it's what we started doing, and it takes more, it's more trouble. You will get better at it. Because if you've got a group of 10 dogs and you've got 10 bumpers spread out, the ending is going to be easier.
Right.
You just don't get that good at this.
Right. And you want to practice how you game, and there's not going to be a pile of bumpers of birds out there on the blind.
And when Rex, when I learned from Rex, not only were they not a pile of bumpers, or not he wouldn't let you use any markers. You had to use all natural markers, little changes in cover. And it made me significantly, more comfortable as a handler, better. All right, well, he's under the arc of that bird and looks pretty, but he's a little bit upwind of it, isn't he?
I think so. You know something's up.
He's a little anxious. You see those little bit of tight turns. Hard to read this guy, another kind of older, more methodical dog here. That he looked in and he started. On this morning's test, you wanted him to break deep. This one, you don't.
He's trying to figure this out, but he's getting further and further away with every turn.
And the more kind of nervous they get a little bit, well, he's decided to go ahead and put the horn on him here a little bit. Well, you can see the cover height, and that's, they don't, and this is a dark bird. And there's not much wind now, so.
No, the wind has definitely died.
It's out at the trunk of that last tree. When I say last tree, there's a line of cedar trees. I guess that's what those are. All right, we got some scores coming in here. 104, 93. Yeah, these are the dogs that are going to have to post some really good scores to move on, and it'll be hard to do because our cut comes after this. So what's 104? All right, here you go. Amateur division. 79, 96, 63. They're going to cut to 18 dogs in each division after this. Now this guy is on the right side of this, is going to handle here. Now these marks are not tight, and sometimes just when they're out there in the middle of nowhere like that, sometimes they're harder to mark.
He's still not convinced it's on those sides.
No.
There we go.
Okay.
Had to bring him in a little bit, change his mind.
Right. So I'm kind of glancing at our radar. We've got a pretty good storm just across the state line into Texas, but if it holds true, it's going to stay a little bit west of us, so maybe that'll allow us to
Got the blind, please.
keep running dogs, hopefully. This dog's approaching a 9-minute effort here. It's just going to vary. You get some of these older dogs that aren't quite as speedy as they used to be. They're going to take longer. We got Lyle Steinman coming up with his first.
Guns up, guns up. Come on now. Pull back in the hold line. Come out of the hold line only and come off lead at the road. Sorry. Yeah, rather just come out, sit down, and come off lead right here. Yeah, we're just trying to, right there. You just, now you come off lead and start from there. All right, here we go, dog to the line.
Giving Lyle a few more instructions there. Where you really need to study how this blind plays out, because there's usually going to be a way to run it that is a little bit easier, and I think land blinds there's always a little bit of a mystery until you see a pattern develop, especially in the last third of this blind, just how you want to approach it. Lyle's going to play a little bit on the right edge of the corridor, but getting to be a real critical time here. He's right on the edge of, he got a cast there, got a good cast, darn good cast, and he needed it, and Lyle's being a little more patient on the depth. Ooh.
The wind died down earlier. You would have.
This is where if you get deep, you're up in that blind planter area.
I think 10 minutes ago she'd have winded that bird, but now there's no wind.
The wind has just died. You're right, because that dog I think was on the left side.
Because she couldn't have missed it, but maybe a yard.
Oh. And look at it. Almost looked in the same spot. Did you get the blind there? No, I just
got it now.
Well, kind of fast and furious up there. What did Lyle give the safe signal?
I think he was saying no wind.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a 4-year-old female. So she's probably just starting to come into her own and figure out the picture and get really smooth on blinds. That was always an amazing thing to watch a 7, 8-year-old all
Yes.
dog.
Oh, yeah.
They get a couple casts and then it was just like they could see the picture and just line out the rest of the way.
See a nice soft send, no hands, just trying to. Right at where the holding blind is, where the bird came from.
She knows something happened out there.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Can't. Yeah, there's the perspective.
Well, that's-
Boy, you
that
don't
is-
want him to punch through those trees and keep going deeper, though. There, that wind's starting to come up a little bit, right to left, so you're gonna have to get on the left side of this bird to wind it.
Ah, she got it.
Okay. These are the dogs who are going to have to post at a great score to be able to move on. It's going to be tough. Just remember, the dogs with the most penalty points from the first series run first.
Jimmy.
Now, the one real good job came in from the outside a little bit. This dog's a little wider than that dog.
Yeah. She's grabbing more and more left, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna have to put a handle on him. Get the bird right there. Just walking over to try to see this dog.
So one thing I would, if I was running this, and I'm watching what the last few dogs have done, and I don't run hunt tests, so I would have to make a mental note that I cannot show this bird and say easy. So they never get that cue of we're going to check down right here because it's a walk up.
Well, you're doing it, but it's not just the word, though. If you're going to come up and keep them a little relaxed and loose, and maybe talk softly to them right there.
Right.
Watch it. You know, that kind of sweet talk as you're approaching. I could see where that. You're certainly going to do it before you send for it.
Right. But it's just coming up. When you hit the mat, it's coming out.
True.
And then you know
They're
off
not
of
going to
it.
restrict you saying easy as you approach, I wouldn't think.
I don't think so.
They can let you talk to them.
Come off lead right here if you want.
So we had the one really speedy dog, but I don't think we're going to see that. Because that one was 7 minutes-ish.
Brian Broussard with Hook from Opelousas.
How far is that from here?
From me, about an hour, a little over an hour.
Look.
That's why I can pronounce all that.
Yeah, that's right.
he definitely got a nose full there.
You can hear that rumbling out to the west of us there. Well, he's in a good spot here. Ooh.
Looks like they're having a little trouble seeing.
Got that cast though, didn't he? Okay.
So that was pretty
managed
good
that ending
red
pretty
zone
well.
handling, like you talked about.
Yeah. Because the dog got there and looked like maybe he didn't want to take a right-handed cast. And he got that right-handed cast, came out from the outside, but you know about this is where the timing on the whistles are so critical.
Right.
Because you have to, especially a fast dog, you've got to lead them. You got to blow before. You can't blow where you want them to stop. You got to blow ahead of where you want them to stop, so it gives them time to hear the whistle. So your whistles are going to be rapid fire when you get right in that right in that red zone, right around that tree. You're really trying to. You're certainly not counting whistles, and not trying to save them.
No.
Okay, so now you're. Notice these handlers are being a little more relaxed with it right there. This is where you're sending them almost like on a sick 'em. Well, this is going to be okay, I think. That outside tree, that wider trunk tree. We'll see though. God, did he get by it? Good mark there. Excellent mark.
So like you talked about not compounding mistakes, you also can't sit there and admire for too long.
Oh yeah.
You got one more to go.
That's right. Yeah, the worst thing you can do is, I said, celebrate it after the first blind on a double blind.
Right.
You let down a little bit.
Right.
In this case, dog feels like he's kind of in a mark mode there. At least that first one was nice. Oh, he's pulling in though a little bit. Well,
Oh, what are you doing, Hook? Okay.
Checked up a little short, but then kind of quartering his way out there. Ooh-wee, now he's coming in pretty hard.
Yeah, he smelled something there he liked.
You hate to send him loud, but he needed a little more punch than what he got, didn't he?
Yeah.
Plant the blind, please. Plant the blind.
We got Carter Turner getting ready to rock and roll here. That dog is right at around 6 minutes there.
All right, guns up, guns up.
They'd be thrilled if they could do 10 dogs an hour.
Sit. Sit.
So you come out of the holding blind and remove the lead.
Correct.
Here we go, dogs with a line.
They were very specific with Lyle to go back in, put the leash on, and then come back out with the leash. And then so Carter's going to handle in short sleeves. He must think that the light-colored nature of his arms is going to be the most visible.
Maybe so. There was a couple dogs. The last dog actually had a little trouble seeing the handler, so I guess you got to try something different.
Knowing Carter, he might just take his shirt off altogether.
Yeah, he might.
Just go bare-chested.
We may have to ask the boom camera operator to adjust accordingly.
Yep. This guy got 79 on our last score.
He hit that short bird really good, and I thought he had a pretty decent blind.
Carter was pretty darn patient before he blew that whistle. I wonder if that's going to... He got the cast. I can see the dog in the trees.
Looked like he got a little scent recognition there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be darned. Well, you got to be pleased with that ending.
I would think so.
Carter's checking his notes there, what the bird to send for. What do you think?
I don't know. Him and the...
See if he's got enough money to buy dinner, maybe.
I don't know if he's calling an audible or what.
That's right, could be.
So Dr. Bob Nicholson asked if there's a keyhole slot on this blind with the trees. I would say no. I wouldn't call it a keyhole slot on the blind.
No, I guess I would. I mean, there's a bit of a corridor, but it's, no. I think of a keyhole blind where the keyhole's not at the end. It's kind of part way out,
right.
And you got to thread a needle, so to speak. But
right.
there is. But it's a tight ending. I mean, it's got some of the same aspects of having to... Oh, you don't... That's not what Carter was looking for there, is it? He's kind of... This is very interesting. You notice Carter's got the whistle in his hand, not even wearing a lanyard?
Yeah, I was wondering. He did that in the first series also.
Did he?
He would take that whistle out of his jacket pocket. He had a whistle hanging, but he would take that one out of his jacket pocket.
I'm going to have to ask him. He didn't do anything by accident, so there's a reason. I just can't think of...
He's about to figure... Yeah, there you go. He figured that out.
Okay, he covered on that, didn't he? So does he use... Oh, you're right. So what's the whistle around his neck?
Yeah, he's got one around his neck. But I don't know.
He's obviously got a different whistle for different situations, something like that. Let me see. I'm hearing some thunder off to the west, but I think it's going to stay west of us. Yep, okay, so he's got more of a mega whistle style, orange whistle. And then he had more of the Green Monster style that in his pocket. I don't read the draw to the right other than, but there must be more than you think. Well, there's some
more
scores we got. A couple 79s came in. 63. I don't know if that's our low score so far. Carter comes up with this. This will probably draw. Looks like got to get a little more to the left, but I think he's pretty close to it. There it is right there, I think.
Got it.
Well, that ought to bring a little better score, huh? He had hunts, though.
Yeah, he had a couple hunts.
He had pretty good hunt on that right bird and a little one there, but he didn't handle. There you go. You got a couple 79, 63. So our low score out of those first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs total is the 189 Kevin Baggett and Otis. As things start to play out, you'll start to make sense what you think the cut's going to be.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that score is because he had a little bit of a hunt on both birds, but he had a pretty clean blind.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see how they're scoring those.
Well, there's
hunts.
room for better, no doubt about it. But
I'd like to know how much they're penalizing those hunts.
yeah, because his initial search was, quite a ways right. Good shot there, Carter.
So as a judge, do you penalize, like you said, the spot where they first started hunting, or do you reward them figuring it out and getting the bird on their own?
That dog was 6.5 minutes.
Dog to the line.
Third one. Third two.
Lyle Steinman and Thor. You got a pretty good left-hand tendency here.
Oh, we are right on the edge of some weather.
I want you to check out this cool drone video. This is in...
Still going left. Let's see what he does when he gets a pretty good ways past the poison bird. .54 for Zeus and Carter Turner.
Boy, he got that cast when he needed it, or at least part of it.
Well, he is convinced it's over on the left.
There's a little spot in there. Carter got it, and he got it at the end. It's scary. You're just underneath, you're just to the right of the trunks of those trees, and there's some cover in there. And I think they're between the cover and the trees, right? You can kind of see it. But boy, they're one little dart to the left of being in that holding blind and really in trouble. Puts you downwind, but man, it feels like you're one cast refusal away from a mess. One wrong turn. He likes the idea he's going to get a mark, doesn't he? Boom. But he knew where it was. This guy's making short order. He's
Looks like he knows where he's going. Man, there is something hanging him up right there.
Yeah.
So after watching the last two dogs do this, would you firm up your send a little
Well, a
bit?
little bit. You know, we call it kind of a casual hand, but you know what? You can't go too much.
He's working.
He
it
hung
out.
up a little bit, but he's going to come up with this bird. There's a little dark spot I got marked right there. But it may be a skosh.
There it is.
There it is, right there. Okay. Well, this was a fast one.
What's that?
Lyle's up there shaking hands, thanking them for their effort.
Must be done for the day.
I'm sure that's what it was. I don't think he's running for office or anything. He's probably...
You never know.
Well, I'll tell you what, these judges work hard, and good to show them you appreciate their efforts. Sacrificing their time.
This is a long one too. To come judge this, you're giving up a lot of your time.
Okay, we did 4 dogs in 24
Here goes, dog to the line.
24 minutes and change, so 6 to 7 dogs an hour is what it's going to be. Or no, 5 to 6 dogs an hour. No, that's wrong. More 10 dogs an hour. 6 minutes, 9 to 10 dogs an hour is what you're going to get. So, and we had how many dogs? 90. Yeah, we said about 10 hours of running time.
Yeah.
To finish this.
I don't know how many pickups
We
they
had a
had in the
no-bird
first.
here.
You would probably want that. Well, that first throw was pretty low. Well, that's what I was going to say. It's a bad number.
I think I had a little low throw on that long bird.
We got some dark skies to the west of us. They're showing that over there.
So Pat, you were talking about how you started in the 80s. You went and met Rex Carr out in California. And we were discussing earlier how the SRS does a great job of putting content out there for everybody to see. When you started, there was nothing. There were no videos to learn from.
Correct.
There were maybe a couple books.
Oh, there were some books.
Okay. But if you wanted to learn, you had to go seek out.
You did. You absolutely did. You had to get in a training group, join a club. Oh, you got another low bird race. You got to go back again, and just seek out. You know, you just got to be the squeaky wheel. You got to get out there and and ask. And you know what? Offer to put your time in. Help at a club. Help to throw birds in a group. I mean, I don't think I ever had anybody not offer to help me. You know, and I walked into Michiana Retriever Club was my home club when I grew up in Indiana. I was only there for a year and a half, and I walked into the annual meeting, and I walked out president. I thought, uh-oh, I think I've been had here.
Yeah, you should have demanded a recount on that one.
So, but again, I wanted to do my part and help out, and so I did that for a few years. You got to put your time in. All right, third time to the line. He's probably hoping for a better throw in this left one. And he got it.
There we go. High and handsome.
Perfect line is the perfect lines. Just to the left of that white decoy, right through that gap right there.
So that's a keyhole there, the decoys.
Yeah, I mean, the classic keyholes that are hard is when you can't see them on the right or left side of the keyhole.
Right.
You know, I think of those more as goalposts.
Right.
You can be outside the goalpost and still see your dog. It just may not be exactly what the judge is looking for. When you get at a tight keyhole, you get outside the keyhole and you can't see them. You're going to lose them altogether on either side. So I jump back and forth from looking at it at the monitor to one looking at real time. This dog is pretty quick here.
So this is one you're gonna have to be on your toes to finish with.
He is, but
he's got some giddy up to him.
It looks, let's watch, but he's had a pretty solid stop. See, he's got a tight turn. That's really gonna pay off. Yeah, sometimes you go with that verb one, you don't know which way they're gonna turn if you don't. But Ray was quick to jump on the next whistle. This guy's, and this is the kind of handling you're gonna have to do with a dog like this. You're not counting whistles as a handler. You gotta just manage them right in and you got to feed it to them. You got to put the bird in their mouth. This is where the dogs want to break a little loony and hunt. Boy, it's hard to see in that dark.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Dark trunk tree right in the background. I'm not sure the dog moved.
I don't think so. I think he's still sitting in front of that. There he goes. He just moved there.
Oh.
He's left.
Yeah.
Maybe smart to break his momentum though.
Yeah, I brought him in some. You had to throw a verbal in to get him to move. It's going to be interesting here. This is a...
So he saw that left-hand cast.
Yeah. Ooh, you got to... This is where you got to have a good come-in whistle.
Yeah.
You talk about them. You and Rhodey and I had that discussion about the come-in whistle and how they responded to it on that mark.
Got it.
I'll tell you what. Well, he got her. If I was running now, I can't decide if you're a little bit on the right, you're going to be upwind, but you can see your dog better.
Right.
And when you kick them left, and it's going to be really difficult to tell if they're behind it or in front of them.
Yeah, and if you're left, you're going to be downwind, but you're also going to be in those trees.
Yeah,
and there's not much of a
You're
sweet
one
spot.
wrong turn from completely losing sight of them.
It's a well-protected bird.
Yeah, well, that's when you talk about bird placement. You don't always think about bird placement and blind placement, but this is bird placement. Anytime you make it hard to be on the downwind side of the blind, it's going to require precision handling.
Especially if the blind planner is also downwind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like it. That's what.
Oh yeah.
That's what handling's about. I'm all about it. So, when you come in on the right side a little bit and you're coming in, again, if you're coming in from the right side and you cast left, the wind's at your back. So it's really risky because you've got to run into the blind. Mm-hmm. You're not going to wind it unless you run into it or see it.
Right.
But the thing we taught us to do is learning to box your dog in. In other words, search a little quadrant.
Yeah.
Cast them, boop, stop them, go the direction you think it is. In other words, if you cast them left, you stop them dead on line, you cast them back.
Yeah.
And if they don't get it, you stop them again.
Yeah.
And you're really downshifting. You're really trying to slow the whole process down.
That was gonna be my thought process, is you would have to be willing to eat maybe 6 to 8 points extra on the end of that blind by boxing them in with a few extra whistles.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because if I'd rather eat 8 points than they get lost in the trees and now you're 25 or 30.
I'm going to say I don't think I've never felt I lost a field trial because I blew a couple extra whistles, but I know I've lost them by not blowing enough. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
And that's points well spent there. Okay. We're 5:33. Ooh, I just saw a shot of lightning over there to the west. Let's see it. Now, I'm going to check my radar, but I wouldn't be surprised. So you can get a lightning reader here. Okay, so that last shot of lightning is just across the interstate. West of us about.
The cows must know something because they're getting antsy over there.
That made that long retired gun more interesting. Got a bunch of cows coming in and. All right. It's getting darker.
So this must be Brian
We're still an
Broussard
hour
and Daisy.
sunset, but definitely.
So he's playing this pretty far left.
Yeah. Not going to do that for long. Well, the dog's making a little. Boy, I like that whistle right there because dogs have. Oh boy. You got to cast, don't you, Wussy? Need another whistle almost immediately.
Mm-hmm. And you want another whistle, and you want to kind of sweat him a little
But
longer.
I'll tell you what, he may not be dead yet. Remember I said, you can make a mistake. You just can't make three of them. That voice, he turned left.
This is going to be the money cast right here.
Dude,
oh,
turn
no.
the wrong way. God almighty. Yeah, you just...
So how do you feel about changing your tempo up when you get a bunch of
Well, yeah.
refusals in a row?
You get when it gets a little wild there. It's human nature to want to speed up.
Right.
And you got to blow fast and cast slow. You see, that's what you end up getting.
Yeah.
Auto casting. Dog gets jacked up and they start taking off before you handle it. And but it's easy to sit up here and stage and say that. Not so easy to do it when you're standing on the mat.
That's the only good thing about having a broken arm. I can sit up here and tell people how to do it.
Yeah.
She does not want to take that right hand cast.
So, I said there's going to be a sweet spot, and it's starting to develop. It starts by deciding where don't you want to be.
Right.
Where do the dogs want to go? And they're really fond of left-handed casts. They don't like. Now let's see what happens here. Now maybe I'm going to be full of it here.
That might be money there. It's a good whistle, I think. Nope.
You might have blown that come in a little early.
Nope.
He was almost on it.
I think he tweeted her in and she still wasn't there.
Yes. They shut it down? Grace? Did they shut it down? Yeah, I think they're gonna, seeing a little lightning in the distance, and I think they're gonna, as they need to, maybe pull some people out. Oh my goodness. But I tell you what, I learned something there. He almost just scalded that end. He was a little bit right, cast in that little opening right there. Got a left-handed cast.
Yeah.
He just got, I mean, it was, I can only tell now. I couldn't tell at the time. He probably stopped the dog 5 feet short of the blind.
Right.
And blew her coming.
Right.
And that's when it went south. But I'll start to pick what I almost would call waypoints, spots that I want to get to make my next cast easier.
Right.
In a perfect world, my waypoint towards the end would be closer to that right-handed limb when it comes down than the left. Set up a left-handed cast. Ideally, kick them just left of the blind, but if you ended up just right of it, I mean, I think if you can keep them in that window, you can, through aggressive handling, you can manage that. So, but that's me sitting up here on stage, and we'll see. But
yeah,
we do know when you're left and you get in those trees and you blow, and they start running around, it gets messy.
What you
Done for the day.
Yeah, we're quitting, so will you tell Pat?
All right, well, I've just gotten word here. Yeah, we've got lightning that came in here, and it's just starting to show up, so it's a smart thing to do. We got to stay safe, and we're going to call this for the night. And how many dogs did we get run? Do we know?
maybe 10 or 12.
So we were doing about, what did we say, 9 to 10 dogs an hour. So if we have,
I would say probably at least
8 hours, let's say 8 hours of dogs tomorrow.
Probably, there's probably at least 75 dogs left to run.
Well, and we've got a big move after tomorrow, so we're going to wrap this up for the day, everybody. We've got, this is the beginning of the second series, double, throw 2 birds, pull off, run a blind. It's been challenging. They haven't let up here. We've had a few pretty solid jobs with some hunts. Blinds have been challenging, a little bit of messiness, lots of whistles, and there's more to come. Tomorrow, I'm sure we're gonna kick this off at 8 a.m. and we'll be back at it with this double and a blind, and well, things are gonna get interesting here in a hurry. And well, that's gonna be it for today at the 2024 Super Retriever Series Crown Championship, our 25th anniversary, brought to you by Eukanuba. And thank you for being here, everybody, and have a great evening, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
The Super Retriever Series Crown Championship is presented by Eukanuba. Sporting dogs give us everything we ask and then some. Their nutrition should do the same. By Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, we are focused on you. Louisiana Tourism, feed your soul. And by Lucky Duck Kennels.
They're partners, ready to do whatever it takes. Athletes that pound for pound can outrun, outwork, and outperform anybody you're watching on Sunday. No contract required. You don't waste that kind of potential. You train it, fuel it, unleash it. You feed nutrition that holds nothing back. The Eukanuba Premium Performance Lineup.
Training the dogs is one thing, but training the people, that's really where it is, because now they can be better to their dogs. Their dogs can trust them more, and they're going to be more successful. And I've done a lot of coaching of people at nationals, and it's really what turns me on, is putting together the dog-handler combination and helping them understand each other. And well, success is bound to happen when you can do that.
In my Louisiana, the day starts at 4 a.m.
In my Louisiana, every meal is a celebration.
My Louisiana really makes me wonder.
Ours is fast!
With real-life swamp creatures!
In my Louisiana, music is a way of life.
My Louisiana is sheer magic.
From sun up to sundown.
Till sun up again. What will your Louisiana be?
When you find your Louisiana, you feed your soul.
Buying an RV should be easy. I found the perfect RV for my family at BayouOutdoor.com. Bayou Outdoor made the whole process so easy with their great low prices.
The Imagine line of travel trailers has wonderful features. You'll find fully equipped kitchens, full-size bathrooms. Some have recliners, some have a fireplace. Come discover what the Imagines have to offer.
So stop wasting time with other RV dealers and get your family camping now. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter, Bossier City, Louisiana.
Your most devoted friend doesn't put on his seatbelt or stand on two legs. You are his keeper, and you'll do anything to protect that bond. The Lucky Duck Kennel is 5-star crash test rated. It's durable, dependable, and secure. If keeping your dog safe from the unpredictable wasn't enough, we made it lightweight, customizable, and right here in America. Lucky Duck, because loyalty goes both ways.